Well, good afternoon and welcome everyone to the fifth annual meeting of the Virginia's Funders Network. Thank you for making the time to be with us this afternoon. My name is Dan Lehman. I'm President and CEO of the Community Foundation of the Central Blue Ridge and Chair of VFN's Advisory Board. Today, we'll share some highlights from the past year, honor our retiring board members, and hold elections for advisory board terms beginning next month. We'll also discuss some themes emerging for our work ahead as VFN enters its next phase of growth and impact. VFN's first strategic framework, which focused on building a diverse network for shared learning and collective action, has guided our early years well. Now, as this framework comes to a close, we're spending time reflecting on what we've learned since launching VFN 5 years ago. As Virginia's only organization dedicated to philanthropy, we remain committed to strengthening our sector in service to the Commonwealth. I'm pleased now to turn the program over to VFN's CEO, Bess Littlefield.
Thank you, Dan. The next screen shows the 5 strategies as reminders of this first strategic framework that has guided us over the past 3 years. Each strategy has a corresponding icon, which you'll continue to see while we update you on this year's accomplishments. The framework also identified intended outcomes, and as we move through these updates, the same icons will appear to show how our work this year connected back to this first strategic framework. We can all take pride in our growth since officially launching in 2020. VFN is now 108 members strong, representing diverse funder types across every region in the Commonwealth. The network is supported by partners who bring valuable expertise to our sector. Member engagement remains at the core of our work and has been a vital part of the strategic framework. Strengthening regional connections is a critical component. Over 200 representatives of member organizations and prospective members attended this year's regional funder gathering. As you may remember, last year, VFN adopted the Commonwealth's Go Virginia regional map to align our convenings. This allows for cross-sector dialogue with public officials and collaborative exploration of regional opportunities and challenges. One member shared her thoughts on the value of this year's regional funder gathering in Warrenton for Region 9, the Piedmont region. VFN's 4th annual conference, held in Leesburg, was another sellout with more than 270 attendees. We extend deep gratitude to the Claude Moore Foundation, our presenting sponsor, and to all the sponsors who made this statewide gathering possible. The conference received high marks for content. Attendees particularly appreciated the dine-arounds, which provided valuable opportunities for informal networking. This year's learning agenda spanned a wide range of topics and best practices in philanthropy. Highlights included a Dominion-sponsored boat tour of the coastal Virginia offshore wind turbine project and 2 sessions in our Federal Impact series. The final session in this series will be on food system resilience, held next week. We also released Finding Your Lane, Housing Affordability Action Guide for Virginia Funders. This was funded by Virginia Housing and the Wellspring Foundation of Southwest Virginia. Through Claude Moore Opportunities, more than 25 VFN members enrolled in the Google Professional Certificate Program on Coursera. This year's grant from the Bainham Family Foundation allowed us to continue to advance VFN's policy and advocacy agenda. We once again hosted the pre- and post-General Assembly briefings, saw record participation at Foundations on the Hill in Washington, D.C., And we also convened 2 task forces to further refine VFN's role in advocacy. Comprised of representatives from our members, these task forces played a distinct but complementary role with each other. One helped shape VFN's next steps in our policy and advocacy agenda, highlights of which I will share later in this meeting, while the other developed a framework to guide how VFN uses its voice on behalf of philanthropy. VFN will use its voice to deepen understanding of philanthropy's role across sectors, to illuminate the implications of policy decisions affecting both our sector and the communities across Virginia, and to stand in solidarity with the broader social sector. In doing so, we aim to strengthen relationships with partners who share our goals and to champion a more informed, collaborative, and resilient philanthropy ecosystem. The VFN is gaining recognition as the go-to resource for philanthropy in Virginia. This year, VFN hosted a breakout session on affordable housing at the Virginia Governor's Housing Conference, sharing how funders are addressing housing challenges across Virginia. I'm pleased to turn the program over to Heather Peeler, President and CEO of Act for Alexandria and Chair of this year's VFN Governance Committee.
Overwhelming 100% response by all members participating in the annual meeting have voted to approve our nominees for terms, the first terms to begin in January, and for those who would begin their second terms beginning in January. So thank you, everybody, and congratulations. We look forward to our continued work with our returning board members, as well as our 4 new board members beginning next year. And I'll turn things back over to Bess.
Thank you, Dan. As VFN enters its 6th year, 3 interconnected strategic pillars are emerging to guide our next stage of development: convening, advocacy, and collective impact. These pillars reinforce one another, positioning VFN as a collaborative community advancing opportunity across the Commonwealth. Convening remains VFN's greatest strength. Through virtual learnings, regional gatherings, and our annual conference, we bring diverse voices together to share insights and strengthen relationships. VFN's annual conference is the defining example of our convening role. Please do make plans to attend our 5th annual conference presented by Dominion and the Blocker and Obacy Healthcare Foundation. The conference will be held May 4 through 6 in Norfolk, Virginia. With the theme Stronger Together, Inspiring Resilience, Moving Virginia Forward, an exceptional planning committee is already crafting an inspiring and highly engaging agenda. We are excited to launch a new digital convening tool, a member-only portal. The portal will feature a searchable member directory with funding priorities and regional filters. The portal will also include toolkits and resources for members' use. Be on the lookout for an email in January with directions on how to create a login for portal access. Policy and advocacy is our second emerging pillar. What does it mean to represent philanthropy in Virginia? It means ensuring that all of you receive timely policy updates. It means telling powerful stories of philanthropy's role and impact in each and every community. It means supporting collective advocacy efforts. And it also means deepening cross-sector partnerships with government, business, and nonprofits to invest in Virginia's future. With a new governor and 17 new members in the House of Delegates this year, This is an ideal time for VFN to build relationships with state leaders and highlight philanthropy's role in supporting communities across the Commonwealth. With this year's investment from the Bain and Family Foundation to continue to support our policy and advocacy work, this will allow us to engage a firm to help guide VFN in this state-focused effort. We will join our colleagues from the Center for Nonprofit Excellence in our first Advocacy Day at the General Assembly in January to share stories of partnership and the ways it strengthens opportunities within communities. And we will again participate in Foundations on the Hill, which will take place in March. We also will update a publication that was first provided in 2021, The Power and Potential of Policy and Advocacy, a Guide for Funders. The third pillar, collective impact, has begun to yield results. Members are working together to expand philanthropy's reach and deliver change at scale. From housing initiatives to healthcare, members are working together to find ways to leverage resources for greater impact. More joint efforts are in the works, including the launch of Press Forward Virginia. For several years, VFN members have been engaged in learning about the need for intentional support of local news. At our 2024 annual conference, PBS correspondent Judy Woodruff delivered a plenary address sharing her reporting on the nationwide loss of local news outlets. Early collaborators for the launch of a Press Forward Virginia chapter appear on this slide. This chapter's fiscal sponsor will be Path Partnerships, the fiscal sponsor for VFN, as you all know. VFN's primary role in Press Forward Virginia will be to educate and convene funders to advance this work. An application has been submitted for official designation with Press Forward. We should hear very soon. Press Forward Virginia will engage potential investors, local news organizations, and other stakeholders for input as a launch strategy is developed for this chapter. The strategy will align with the unique needs of the Commonwealth's local news ecosystem. If you would like to learn more, please reach out to Amy Petty at the Path Foundation or to me. I ask you to join me in thanking the members of VFN's advisory board, who have dedicated countless hours this year to ensure VFN's ability to carry out our mission. And a special note of appreciation to Dan Lehman, whose term as board chair concludes this month. He has provided exceptional leadership throughout his tenure. As chair, he guided the board through a pivotal stage of its evolution, helping to position this organization for its next phase of growth. And to Jill Coleman and Sari Raskin, who are retiring from the board this year. Jill led the creation of VFN's first strategic framework and served as board chair in 2024. Sari was among the first advocates for the creation of VFN and was instrumental in helping to launch it. We are especially grateful to our 2025 Sustainer Circle. These members invest above and beyond their membership dues with additional contributions, grants, and/or conference sponsorships. With these investments, VFN has been able to expand our service to members. Please mark your calendars for upcoming VFN events. And be on the lookout in our upcoming events newsletter as we launch into 2026. As a reminder, our 2026 membership drive is underway. Thank all of you who have already made your dues payment for 2026. For those of you who have, you will be your organization will be in a drawing to receive a free conference sponsorship registration. So if you haven't done and you're waiting to send the check, send it in before December 31st. We'll look forward to continuing to work with each of you. On behalf of the VFN team, thank you for your commitment to this work and to each other. As we draw this annual meeting to a close, I will ask Kate Keller, who will serve as VFN's board chair in 2026, to share a few thoughts about the work ahead for the advisory board.
Thanks, Bess. As VFN enters its sixth year, the advisory board will play a vital role in shaping a practical, actionable 5-year business plan that aligns with the 3 emerging strategic pillars that Bess just outlined. Together, we will set clear priorities for each pillar and set achievable revenue goals so that we have the resources needed to advance our work. The plan must also position VFN for long-term sustainability and growth, enabling us to continue to deliver meaningful value to you. I look forward to collaborating with our advisory board as we carry out this important work going forward. So Dan will now bring this annual meeting to a close.
So want to thank everyone again for joining us today for our annual meeting. And together we've built a strong philanthropic community dedicated to ensuring that Virginia's communities can thrive. And it's my honor to pass the virtual gavel to Kate Keller to lead the advisory board next year. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.